phased out, and it's sad. But
Wait. What? Which one?
Nick Nolte,
Not Busey.
not Busey.
Because I get those mixed up.
Nick Nolte is your go-to.
No, it's
Your
just
favorite.
It's one of my favorites, only because my voice becomes so unrecognizable, like out of my register, that it's like, oh, I don't like. If you were just listening to it, you're like, I don't know what's happening right now.
That's a soda Adam just opened.
No, it's not. It's
not
a
him
sparkling
farting.
Dasani.
Okay.
Dude,
Not him farting. Who would ever confuse a Dasani with a fart?
I wish your fart smelled like Dasani.
Me too.
It'd be better. Yeah. Now, are you doing like old
adult.
Nolte? Are you doing like old Nolte? Because
What's young Nolte?
I don't know what young Nolte
It's
is.
not as weathered as.
But old Nolte is like
Yeah.
really gravelly.
Yeah. Old Nolte is.
Oh, his throat's almost closed off entirely. And it's really intense. And I also have to do the face along with it to really get in.
You'll have to because it's one of those things.
You're like
I
one
feel
of
like that should all
those
be-
smokers, like with the thing
Oh
in the
yeah.
throat.
Yeah.
Dude, the first time I saw one of those, I was 9 years old. I was with my grandparents in Ada, Oklahoma, playing bingo with all the other old people.
Yeah.
And there was a guy with a voice box. And there were so many great fights. I think I've probably mentioned this before. Like, you know, one woman was like, blackout's my game. I'm really good at blackout. And her husband's like, you're not good at it. It's not a skill. All you have to do is put the beans on the number, and you have the numbers. And then this guy with a voice box won bingo, couldn't find his little, what do you call it?
No.
Microphone, whatever.
Yeah.
He just had misplaced it on the table amongst all the beans and cards. And so he's just like, and I'm like, hey, does anyone want to check on Alan? He's freaking out, right? He's like, he's waving. I was like, I think he needs a drink. Maybe is he choking? Does he need a drink? And all of a sudden he just goes,
Bingo.
right? And just fucking, yeah, it was amazing. I never did.
Just
By
searching
the way,
for it.
just had never seen like an intensity in a man who
Right.
was like,
Yeah.
I know I can't speak. That's not the issue. I'm trying to win, you know, I don't know,
Yeah.
$50.
And like for him, that's his life. Like he was probably searching for that voice box. Like if we just woke up, we were somehow underwater.
Yeah.
Like just like with the same intensity.
which is kind of what your Nolte looks like.
Oh yeah, like
he's struggling to
drowning,
breathe.
like he's like-
I can't do it.
You know what I love about
I'm falling into the deeps.
You know what I love about your impressions? They're spot on, but you contort your face like Melissa does, where it's like, you know, like you can.
I try to. Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think, you know, we all look at like the Dana or the Jim Carrey impressionist, where it's like you kind of have to, you know,
It helps with the
I
impression.
think it helps get into it rather than looking like a psycho and just like
Right.
doing the voice and
no,
like
dude.
expressionless.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, your fans now are so great. I saw on your Twitter that someone made like a painting or something of all your characters.
There's this great artist, Alex Smith.
The
put
quarterback
together-
who broke his leg?
No, different guy.
Oh, different
guy.
Alex?
Yeah,
Okay,
different
okay,
artist.
okay.
He
more
put
than one guy.
together 30 of my characters on like this
Just 30?
Marvel
wow,
universe.
dude, fucking try to achieve something.
I know. I need to amp it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
dude, it's Hollywood, man.
I know.
Okay,
Come on,
there's people
get
out there
to
with
it,
31
Jeremiah.
characters and 31 flavors.
I know, I'll get back to the drawing board. Yeah, he put together like because he asked me, he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I love your work. If you have any art ideas, I'd love to do something for you." I go,
Can I paint you? And you're like, what else you got?
Who else? Yeah,
What about all your characters? Check.
let's go.
That
Yeah.
was a real cool thing because it also was like, I mean, it just gave you a. I mean, I'm sure like you just move on so quickly from one to the next in a Kill Tony or whatever show you're doing where you get to, you know, put these on display. But it's like to see them all laid out like that, where you just kind of like, whoa, I guess I have.
I've been working at this
Because you
yeah.
kind of like, you
done a
know,
lot.
we all don't look in the rearview mirror, which I think
Yeah,
is a
it's
good thing. You're
on
just
the
like,
next
on to the
thing,
next
on the
thing.
next thing.
What is next? How do I keep stacking the chips? But every now and then, like, you got to kind of check the lens and be like, oh, yeah, like, look where I was and now I'm here. So that's a kind of a cool moment.
Yeah, no, I definitely like even a few years ago, I couldn't like some of those characters. Well, a decent amount of them did not exist a few years ago. So it's kind of cool to see.
Does
it,
the
like,
city
grow.
dictate what character? Like when I got to do Plano with you guys, and you had George W. Bush, which was so good, because I mean, like I saw you looking like Jerry like this, and then literally 20 minutes later, had colored his hair, which was like such a small detail, But quite honestly, like you had a bomber jacket, right? And then you found a Dukakis pin. What was it? No, a Bush.
No, it was a Cheney Bush legit running made
Wow.
pin from.
And you got that the day of, yeah?
2004. I got that. No, I had found that like a week before when
So
I
you-
was out of town at like a thrift store. I always go to thrift stores.
You
like,
stole it from like a war veteran or something, is what you said? Is that, yeah.
I peeled it
Yeah.
off a guy. Like, don't take that. That's
It's
my
all I
last
have."
favorite thing I own.
Sorry, Nick Nolte.
Sorry, gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
Man.
that really sold it because then it was like, and then the voice obviously. But so was being in Texas that played a role in.
Yeah, like we. So I had been wanting to do that for a while. Also, when we do certain shows on the road and the budget only allows maybe just me to go, that will affect what I decide to do as well. Because like we did Fort Wayne, Indiana recently,
Yeah.
and I was Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just a funny, weird place to do it. And Tony's like, why? Why, Kid Rock, are you here? I was like, well, my biggest demographic is here. So, all my fans are here. And I'm pretty excited to perform for Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go. It is, and good on you for having the foresight. There's so many times I'm flying to a city, and like as I get there, I go, oh, I should have done this, or I should have
Yeah.
planned this, or I should have. Like that's so great that you can like look ahead on the calendar like that and be in a thrift shop a week and a half out and be like, oh, I'm going to Texas next week.
Well, we have to because sometimes, like, especially when we did like our summer tour, it would kind of creep up on us. Like, I would have to sit down with like Joel Jimenez, who's our drummer, for when we go on the road, like we'd have to have meetings. Like, yo, we're about to hit 5 cities in a week. We can't
Right.
just throw this together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Week of, otherwise it's gonna suck. And we always
Yeah.
try to put a lot of effort into it. Like we did one that was like a highlight for me. We have these feminist characters. I have this character
Yeah.
named Feminist Stacy.
Yeah.
We did that in Portland, and that was
Yes.
amazing because
Yes.
the crowd was like,
Turning on you.
no, they were so into
loved it.
They're so into it because the stuff I was saying as Feminist Stacy, they were like, yeah.
Oh, because you. Oh, okay,
It's
yeah.
so
Oh,
amazing.
All right,
Right.
now I get it. Yeah, you're pro.
I'm pro
femininity.
I'm super
yeah.
feminist. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what kind of things would you say that got them riled up?
Well, I came out like seething anger. I was like, and Tony's like, "Whoa, Feminist Stacy, what's going on?" He's like, "I just heard about the abortion law that, like,
Yeah.
and I just want to say one thing: our body, our choice." And the theater's just like,
Oh my god,
dude, it was.
That's when you stop for a second and go, is this turning into a rally? Like, what am I
yeah,
supposed
Should I
to
quit
do?
stand up and just
Yeah,
do this
just
at the
do
beginning of every?
I'm good at this.
Can feminist Stacy run for office?
Yeah.
In
Like,
Portland, she could become the mayor there.
yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Does Tony not have any idea what you guys are gonna do?
Yeah,
that's
that's-
part.
that's
and people
part of
now expect that there is that dynamic, right? And by the way,
Yeah.
we're talking about Kill Tony, the #1 live podcast
Yeah.
in the world, right?
Check it out.
Check
if you
it
don't
out.
know what it is, basically, if you don't know, comedians of any level can sign up to do the show, put their name in a bucket. They're drawn out randomly to come up and do 60 seconds in front of a panel. And what I tell people who are not familiar with the show, it's like if the Tonight Show with the Roots, if the Roots had to commit to different characters every week,
Yeah.
if the house band had to commit to different characters, and that's what we
Yeah.
do.
And
So-
and then also I wouldn't say you roast them, but you definitely it can get to that point.
Give 'em
It
raw
can get
feedback.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think people, again, like, I don't know when the show picked up true momentum to where it is in its current state, where, you just get every big comic on to guest judge, or I guess guest critique, guest
on the panel.
just be on
Yeah,
the
whatever
panel,
you wanna call it. Yeah.
with Red Band and Tone, and I think it is, like, even in Plano, there was a good, balance that you guys have of, being honest with them. If like one guy came up there and didn't try because he was like, I didn't think I was gonna get called, and so you guys rightfully, bailed him a little harder because it was like,
Yeah,
hey
if-
man, and then I tried to subside some of that with like, yeah man, like still kind of like, giving him a hard time, but being like maybe prep next time because look what happened. Like you could have gotten some out of this instead you wasted everybody's time.
Yeah, you wasted an opportunity.
You wasted an
rather than
opportunity,
taking
yeah.
advantage
yeah,
of something.
and
Yeah.
it is. It's got to make you feel good to both like sometimes you see open micers where this is their fucking shot, and they go up there and they've really thought about it and they've showed up for weeks because it is completely random. It's not like, oh, if someone's been coming for 5 weeks, okay, let's finally get them on stage.
Yeah.
No, it's random. So and then you see someone go on and then finally do well. Like it's got to make you feel really great that they took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's always good to see people who I already am familiar with in the scene who are like working hard, and then they come up and kill it. I'm like, heck yeah, that's awesome, because once they're up there, that's a weird line. Like when I'm in character, like I sometimes say whatever as that character, and even if I know the person, like I still will contribute stuff where I'm like, that wasn't, I don't know.
Have you guys done any shows in KC where you're from?
We did, yeah.
And
we did.
Like, what is it like to now go home after like the last couple of years of just getting a little more, experience under your belt, a little more
career momentum? What's it like to tell Chris Porter, "Fuck you"? There's other comics.
There's a
from
new king of
Kansas
KC.
City. Yeah,
It's George Brett, Jeremiah, then Chris Porter.
Yeah, yeah. Well, fuck you, Chris Porter.
That's at Chris Porter on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, I am Chris Porter.
Yeah.
I want to give him a shout.
Kansas City Wars going on. Turf War. I went back to it was actually really cool. We, as part of the summer tour for Kill Tony, we performed at this theater in Lawrence, Kansas, which is like the college town. It's where KU's at.
Yeah.
And it's like where my sister graduated from, and I had a bunch of buddies who went there, and it's like 20-30 minute drive from like my mom's house where she lives. So
I don't like the way you said that, Brad. Nice, dude.
Nice.
I'm familiar. I've been there.
I've been going to your mom's house for years.
Oh, God. Yikes. Perv table for one.
What? She makes a great apple pie.
Yeah, see, there's nothing Nolte can say in complimentary.
God, I cannot keep doing that. That's gonna,
it's brutal in
that
your throat.
fucks up your voice. I gotta sing.
Imagine
tonight.
being Nick Nolte.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just like
It just continuously just gets worse and
Is
worse.
that from
and worse.
heroin or cigarettes? What's that from?
no.
Pain.
Going
No,
down
I don't
on
know.
women?
I don't know. Oh, the
Just getting throat cancer
spitballing,
over and over.
yeah.
Michael Douglas.
Is that how he got it?
Michael Douglas claimed that's how he got throat cancer. Was
Yeah.
he went down on too many women.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So he wasn't saying
You
like.
weren't saying like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I was gonna
Yeah.
You got that cancer, pussy? Okay. I just wanted to clarify because I thought he literally was like, "Yeah, I got it from eating pussy," and then it's like, "Hey, I'm right here, and
Yeah.
people know you're married to me. Can you maybe make up a story?"
Yeah,
Right.
Zorro, more like horror. What are we talking about?
Whoa,
Yeah.
gross.
So he got that, and then that's got to be like. Did the doctors tell him that, or did he go, "I'm gonna go on a little humble brag right here. I just ate too much pussy, everybody."
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably a little bit of both. Douglas
See,
seems like he doesn't give a fuck.
And that's when DJ Khaled was like, "Yo, that's why I don't eat pussy." Another one.
Yeah.
Probably.
He came out in that article saying that he doesn't do that.
Did the KC people come out for the hometown show? Did you go on a big like blast it out to everybody, or were you like, you know what, I'm gonna let them, like the people who know are gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
those early hometown shows, you're like, everybody, you stand at the top of a mountain. Everyone, I'm doing stand up.
Right.
I'm back home.
Excuse me, all. I'm here to perform for you. I'm back.
I'm back. Have you missed me?
Well, what was kind of funny about to rewind before the Lawrence thing happened
Yes.
with Kansas.
Yes.
I had just headlined there in March
Oh,
earlier
cool.
this year, and that was like a big homecoming for me. That
Yeah.
was me telling everybody, "Come, I've got new jokes to tell you. I'm so excited. Dorothy's back home. Oh boy!" You know, so that was like my big moment which was funny about that, the club that was supposed to open there, which is now open, which my buddy Dustin Kaufman runs, the comedy
Yeah.
club of
Yeah.
Kansas City. You
Shout out
guys
to
know him.
Dustin.
Yeah,
Mhm.
shout out to Dustin.
He's doing great.
So I was supposed to be the opening weekend, which
Yeah.
is going to be a big deal.
Sure.
You know, they didn't get their
Liquor
one of their
license.
licenses up and
Yeah,
running
the
in
liquor
time.
license.
Their plumbing
Oh,
wasn't up
shit.
to service yet. So they're like, we can't.
We can
have
sell
anybody in
booze,
here.
but if you
There's
wanna
nowhere to
shit
go.
or piss,
There's some buckets out back.
Yikes!
So
Yeah,
they
that's a big
couldn't
one.
open it. So we went to. I ended up headlining at this flea market in a different part of town.
Yes.
And it was just it was the running joke of the weekend where like I had a lot of people that came out to see me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my big homecoming weekend. I'm performing at a flea market. And
The show must go on,
and
right?
the show must go on.
That's cool that you didn't just cancel it, because I
Yeah.
guess people
I
had.
didn't want to do that. I was like, it's already too late. Like, I already
You're
have
already
my
going.
trip booked.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
How
and
was the
people
show?
were excited. The shows were great. I did 4 shows there, and it was
awesome.
super fun.
You've done enough. I mean, with Stand Up on the Spot, which is another show that you run at the store, which we've mentioned before, but an amazing
So
show
great.
where audience throws out suggestion, comics are improvising their sets based on the words that get yelled out, which
Yeah.
is a great opportunity for us to write on stage, which I
Yeah.
think we all do, some more than others, but like to truly have a show set up for that. And I know Rogan's even publicly talked about how much material he gets from that
Yeah.
show.
It's
And,
one of my favorite shows to do. It truly is.
But whether it's that or Roast Battle or Kill Tony, it's like I feel like you've developed this mentality of, fearlessness, of just nothing scares you and nothing that you won't try, which I think is something that every comic should embody in some fashion, so that you are just always getting better if you're not afraid to take a chance or a risk. But I'm sure that played into where you were like, all right,
Yeah.
if we have to do it here, we'll do it here. I'll
That's how
make
I
it
felt.
work.
I try to not be phased by anything anymore. It's like curveballs are just like, okay, here we go.
Just grab a different bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there something that's happened in a show? Oh wait, you probably haven't been on since that happened, even though I think that was over a year ago when the guy on mushrooms attacked you.
Yeah.
I don't think you
remember.
have been. The last time you were on, I think it was over a year ago.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
while. Yeah. But that happened in 2017, I think. 16
Okay.
or 17. So
Yeah.
I can't remember
maybe
if we
you
talked
were.
about this on the last.
I
If,
can't
well,
remember.
if we have new listeners, go back, watch a
Yeah.
clip.
What
Watch
if we
a clip. The
What if
clip
we
is-
didn't? By the way, in
Yeah.
3 years, nobody knew.
Like
after
we
all
all
this?
know. We all know.
Yeah.
We all heard it.
Sandra Bullock. Who gives a shit? That was crazy. And I think as far as live comedy goes, where the whole anything can happen, like,
Yeah.
you probably won't see anything like that that'll top that, right?
No, the only thing that I had outside of being attacked by somebody who was drunk and on mushrooms was I had a weird incident where a guy was claiming to be a Green Beret in the audience that was
Oh, yeah.
heckling me, and he ended up like punching me in the nuts. He
That's
like
right.
sack tapped
Thank
me
God you taped
while
that.
the show. Yeah, that was very.
Whoa.
Is that
I
why you
don't-
tape all your sets now? Because of when that happened, you're like,
the threat of physical assault?
Yeah.
Well, what was
Yeah.
kind of funny about that was I got some security footage from the store that I guess I wasn't allowed to get, and so I had to pull that and I had to get it animated to be put back up later because I had some higher ups at the store be like, "How did you get that footage?" And I was like, like somebody gave it to me, and I didn't want that person to get in trouble."
Whoa.
Yeah.
And they didn't know, and I didn't know. It was just out of ignorance. Like I was like, we can't put that out there. They're like, no, it's a safety hazard. It's all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'll take it down. I won't want anybody getting
Yeah.
in trouble over
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So I had it animated and put it
Yeah.
back up so
We
with
have
the
so
audio.
great
set.
audio.
So what's this story with the Green Beret?
He was just this guy
Combative.
who literally, right away, he literally was in the room only during my set. He sat down, started heckling me immediately.
Yeah.
I wasn't engaging with the audience
Yeah.
at all, and he just was like, it was his mission. And then I started kind of lightly roasting him, and he got really upset, and I gave him a chance to go back and forth. Like I let him talk into the mic, and which some comedians are
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna hold on to the mic.
I think there's nothing wrong with that because I mean, that's even more pressure for them to say something great.
Yeah.
Now you're truly putting them
I'm
on
like,
the spot.
even the playing ground, I was like, if you have some gold to say,
Yeah, say it. Because
Here you
guess
go.
what? If
'Cause
it's
I'm-
great and people go nuts, I can play off that.
Exactly.
But chances
Mhm.
are,
Momentum. There's
you're
some
gonna
kind of
say
energy.
something really terrible.
yeah,
and that's
which
gonna,
he did. He
yeah.
said multiple things that, he kept claiming to not be gay and stuff, and
Right.
then he ended up touching my balls, by
that-
punching me. It was like,
and then
all
yeah,
right,
didn't you
there
say
go.
like that's the most like gay thing you can do is to
Yeah.
reach for my dick?
right?
Yeah.
Man, it's just. And was this during a Kill Tony show or during
That was
Stand
in
Up
the
on
original
Spot?
room at the Comedy Store.
Oh, just in the OR.
That was like after I'd done Kill Tony that night, and it was doing a set, working out on stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's the thing about stand up that makes it the best and occasionally the worst is that
Yeah.
there is that live aspect of it, and there's this thing where like I don't think there's too many stories of that going on in a Broadway show. Like no
No.
one's like yelling out and no one's heckling the Once on This Island frogs. Like, that's not how you jump. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no
Oh
one's
my
doing
God,
that
I was
shit.
a frog and Once on This Island.
So was I. That's why I pulled that.
Jerry.
Have you been a frog?
Have you been a
in
frog
Once
in
on
Once
This
on
Did
Island?
you just call me Jerry?
Yeah. Sorry. Don't do that. You don't like that?
I'm not that guy.
You're not?
I'm not that guy.
Jeremiah.
You call me Jer.
Jer.
You call me Jer a lot.
I've called you Jer.
You call me Jer.
I do a lot, actually.
But you
I never
never
call you
me
Jerry.
Jerry. I was like, oh.
I'm sorry. That was a slip up, dude. Yeah, it didn't feel right.
It's funny. Some people try to call me, and I'm like, nah, I'm
How about
not that
Watt?
guy. I just.
How about Watt?
I've been called J Watt, J Dub.
Okay.
You're cool with Jer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That's
And because, like, you're more of
Yeah.
a man than that
J-
JJ Watt guy.
By the way, Jerry is a different person.
It's totally-
Jeremiah
it's-
and Jerry, like,
They're completely different people.
yeah.
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 What do you think of when you think of Jerry?
What do you
Unless-
think of?
Unless. What's it now?
Wasn't it with Jeremiah?
What's wrong with
Jerry? It's not Jerry. It's
Boy,
Jeremiah.
Seinfeld, you are really just reaching for straws.
Oh, man.
What's that? Straws? We don't even have them anymore. How can I reach for them? All right, dude.
The paper straws. That's crazy right now. Why ban the paper straws?
Where do you get your material from these days? Are you writing pre-show? Or are you writing on the weekends? Like,
Some of my newer stuff has been very relationship based because just stuff I'm going through right now with my wife. She's at a place where she's wanting to have kids, and I'm not ready for that. So I'm talking about that on stage
Whoa.
and stuff like that. And
How is she
making
with
comedy
that?
Out of it. She's seen it. She's
Okay.
seen it, and I think at first she was a little bit like, are we still headed in the same?
oh boy! Not only are you not wanting to have kids, you're
Yeah.
using it for material.
Yeah.
But it we are headed eventually in that direction of having kids eventually.
Yeah.
But the way I talk about it right now, I'm just being really raw and honest. Like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't want to.
What are your reasons for not being ready? You don't have to do the bit, but I'm just curious. Like,
I don't get into that on stage, but I think I'm more nervous really that too much will change with our personal lives, like that it'll shift things, like, and I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really hard to commit to certain things like relationships and children when we're stand-up comics, and all day, all night, every day we hear our fellow comics walk up on stage and be like, marriage sucks, don't have kids. All right, on to the next comic. Marriage sucks, don't have kids. Fuck. Like, you're just like,
Yeah.
you're just bombarded with that.
And it's hard because my only interactions with kids are on airplanes, and that's the worst. That's,
the
literally
worst
place.
I don't see kids.
Yeah.
Like, my wife works with kids, so
Yeah.
she gets to see
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
And I just see. I've only recently just seen. I've been
Yikes.
around. I don't know. I have a lot of friends with kids right now.
So you've only seen kids screaming,
Yeah.
dropping iPads,
And-
farting on people's heads.
and parents
opening
ignoring them.
Dasani bottles really loud.
Okay, dude, too soon.
Yeah, dude.
And you know what? Yeah, I do
Yeah,
do that.
man.
I do that,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
I do
You
that. I'm a
that.
Dasani
Yeah,
dude.
Oh, Dasani.
I'm a Dasani dude.
I put the Don Dasani.
You've yet to see a kid who like sees an old lady struggling with her bag in the overhead compartment and is like, you want me to get that for you? Right? No, it's like every kid on a plane is either like, bummed at how long the ride's going to be.
Yeah.
Bummed that they don't have. I mean, it's like we've traveled enough to know that like, yeah, some flights the charger's not going to work, or the Wi-Fi's down, or they don't have a TV on the seat, and you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm making adjustments somehow.
Yeah.
But kids are just like,
Life
I also
is
think
over.
just conditioned to knowing that, especially if they're getting on a plane, they're somewhat spoiled, and they're just like, the fuck is this? Like, I've been sitting here for 20 seconds, and I don't have snacks in my face.
Yeah, there was a kid on a plane recently, and Tony gives me crap about it because he's like, you didn't fix the situation. It just happened to organically time out
Yes,
perfectly for
yes,
you.
you do.
And I'm like, no, I think I had the magic touch in this situation. These parents would not calm their kid. They were
Yeah.
just letting them, and then and eventually, like, people are like turning around. I have headphones in. It's going over full blast headphones. And I'm
Wow.
like, whoa, what's happening? And I took him out. I go, hey, buddy. Hey, we're all going to be okay. Okay? We're going to be good. And he,
Fucking Nicolas Cage on them. Hey, we're gonna be okay.
I'm more of a child protector.
You want to watch Con Air? What?
Put
gone in 60 seconds.
put the peanuts back in the basket.
Is that Cage?
Yeah, trying.
Wait, from what? Does
That's
he say
from
that?
Put the Bunny Back in the Box, because you said Con
Con
Air.
Air.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Put
yeah.
the bunny back in the box.
That's pretty good. All right.
It's Cage trying to do a Southern accent, but
Yeah.
it's just it's not working out too well for him.
I think if I try to do Cage, it'll just turn into my Owen Wilson, because they're bordering it up. Or it's like, well, calm down. What are you doing here? Oh my God. Hey, we're all gonna be okay. Okay. Wow. I think I'm gonna make a good father.
That's actually a great bit, like
long-
Owen Wilson calming kids down on planes.
Hey, buddy. Hey, amigo.
Hey, we're all gonna be all right.
You're in the aisle seat, man. You get to pee whenever you want.
Hey, you gonna go to the bathroom? Hey, you want to see the window?
No, you can't. I'm gonna shut it.
Wait, did you find out why the kid was
No,
going nuts?
Literally, it just worked out perfectly. And I looked at Tony after I did it, like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, sure, dude. You didn't like the time.
Oh, because you said it and then he
Because
just.
I said it, and the kid immediately went, and he calmed down. And like the other people, like, kind of like, did he just kid whisper? That sounds like the creepiest.
Yeah,
show.
that's not.
Yeah.
That is. Nick Jr.'s not picking that up.
Hi, kids.
Shh, we got to be quiet.
Shh, we gotta be quiet. Your parents are coming home.
Oh no, not Kid Whisperer.
Next week.
Oh no.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Did you make the
Seriously.
pizza like I told you to?
Yeah.
Through text message because I have your number? Oh, God.
So you have to have like go through that situation, and because we've all been on planes where like sometimes the kid's noisy and you see the parent trying. Like they're doing something.
Yeah,
like
they're trying
they're
to. Like,
they're
these
walking the
parents
kid
are
up and
literally
down.
Just so
yeah.
over it. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything right now.
Wow. So you're like, all right, well,
I'm gonna.
Little-
I was on the other side of the plane. I was like, hey, like I raised
Yeah.
my voice over
Oh, really?
aisles of people.
all right, Jay Watt.
You know, just trying to be a
Jenkins.
good citizen up in the air as well.
Jer-
You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Watt. Yeah.
Oh, God. I need to sign some paperwork.
Yeah. But that dude. Now, was there in that moment where you thought to yourself, maybe I can have kids?
No.
No.
No, that was just a coincidence.
No, I was just like, no, I'm just, I am communicating well with people.
Yeah.
Well, and how could you have kids now when you already kind of have a kid? Your album, Regan and Watkins. How's that for a transition, everybody?
Brad is pretty good at transitions.
Yeah.
Driving the bus, taking
Look at
a
that.
turn on Transition Avenue.
Woo!
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
this is a great album.
Yeah, and it went to the top of the charts
Yeah.
on the comedy charts, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really freaking awesome because you like did you look to see who else was like on those charts with you? You're like looking like there's Gabriel and Jim Gaffigan and Regan and Watkins.
The first weekend we debuted at #1 on iTunes, and we were thrilled, and it was pretty surreal to see some of the other groupings of like under the top 10. The Lonely Island had put out a music comedy album recently. Weird Al was on there,
Yeah.
and Sandler, his 100% Fresh. So I was
Wow.
like,
Pretty good company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good company.
That's
sure.
crazy.
It's a great album, music, comedy, the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you want to get a taste, maybe go to YouTube, type in the words "I just went soft."
Oh yeah, you like that music video?
I
just
do
watched
like
it.
I do like that music.
Yeah,
That's
video.
not the one with Pauly Shore.
That one's with Brian Redband and his girlfriend Janice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pauly Shore is our stepdad music video.
I love that one. Because I have a stepdad, so I can
Well,
relate.
I base it off of who is his name is actually Robbie, and he loves the music video.
Off who?
Pauly Shore played the version of somebody who's real in my life.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Was that very surreal
my
for this
mom
person?
is actually married to a guy named Robbie,
Does Pauly
and Pauly plays Robbie in that music video.
did Pauly and Robbie meet to try to get some character research?
No. It wasn't. We shot.
Dude, I
out
need
here.
to meet the real Robbie, dude, if I'm gonna be Robbie,
Dude,
right?
if I'm gonna be Robbie, then I gotta be Robbie. So you gotta fly me to KC, and then you gotta fly me back to LA.
Because
bro.
it's what? Because
it's Robbie.
Because it's Robbie. Because I want to do that flea market, bro. I heard that show
Yeah,
ruled,
bro.
dude.
Dude, I'm there next weekend, bro.
They got their plumbing license back. Yeah, that was a great video. That song's super fucking catchy too. It was definitely in my head for at least a week. How did you guys put this together?
Pat Reagan and I have been working together. We originally, like around the time we started doing music together, we were doing the Kill Tony band together.
All right.
And we came together and realized we had like a strong comedic connection and musicality. He's a very talented musician, and we're good yin and yang to each other.
Yeah.
And we started writing songs, and we're like, we want to do a legit album, but we want to do it studio. But we don't want to record it just in front of a stand-up audience because that's, I feel like, a much more traditional path right now, which is dope. But for us, we wanted to do something a little bit more of a throwback where it was studio recorded, like a Tenacious D kind of thing,
Yeah.
audio sketches and stuff like that.
And I think for music too, that's how you listen to like you want that studio sound for the music, and it really enhances it. One reason why I think people love The Lonely Island so much is because the beats are actually good.
Well, it sounds like actual music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big thing.
And you guys are both talented musicians, so the songs are catchy without, like, if you said whatever lyrics, like, they'd be catchy songs.
Yeah.
But then you're doing hilarious lyrics on top of that, and it's just awesome.
That was the goal, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a real, I don't know, man. Comedy music is
it can get a bad stigma pretty
It totally
quick.
can. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, shit. I mean, we've all jammed quite a bit on the Jam, and you've been on stage with Ave and I for a bunch of stuff, and I'm always in the mindset of, like, if you got skills that you've honed and that you've been blessed with and that you can take to the stage, like, that stage is yours to do what you want with, and which is why you guys doing that and making the album, and when I started doing that with Jeff Scott and now Ave, and I feel like there's so many other things to do, like to on the stage, to just make people laugh. It's not strictly, doesn't have to be just you and the mic and jokes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
use everything in the tool belt. Why not?
How long did you, you've been playing sax for a while,
Yeah.
and that kind of, if you hadn't started doing that, like, you probably wouldn't have.
I mean, honestly,
And that wasn't with the intentions of doing a comedic thing with the sax. It was like,
no, I just liked sax, and
Yeah.
and I don't know how it became so infused in a lot of the things that I'm doing comedically, but it's it's helped take me around the world to different places, like
Yeah.
having
So
that
crazy.
as like a skill on top of being a comedian. So it's
Yeah,
it's
I
still
mean,
wild to me.
Steve Martin wrote in his book, "You'll use everything."
Yeah.
And you really have, because like you said, like, it's taking you all over the world. And Kill Tony, you guys did an international tour.
Yeah, we went to Europe, and it was pretty awesome. We were in London.
you been?
I'd never been.
Whoa.
The farthest I had been away from home was Canada. So
dang.
yeah. More like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like in different theme parks that have their different sections or
Yes.
whatever.
Right.
It was like, this is what they're going for, but it's the actual
Oh, yeah.
country. The actual cobblestone.
Oh, yeah.
like in
Yeah,
Ireland
yeah.
and stuff. We're like, oh, this is so cool.
The real thing.
Yeah,
Bridges, different,
so like when they're in New Hampshire, like, oh, and come visit our old town. You're like, oh
Yeah.
no, this is the fucking
is
old
Old
town.
Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a theme.
yeah.
What did you guys do in your days off? Did you try to sightsee and meet the locals?
No, we it was a pretty quick turnaround because we go hard in the paint when we tour. We're in Europe. We ended up doing within a week. We did 5 Kill Tonys within a week because we did our show in LA on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We did the 3 in Europe, and then we were back on that Monday to do Kill Tony
Wow.
No way.
again. Yeah.
So you weren't even gone a week.
Yeah.
And then you went
hit it.
to
That's
3
like
shows.
A,
Wow.
Dang, like a 15-hour flight or some shit?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, 12, 15, somewhere around there. Yeah.
What'd you do on that flight?
I slept for like 7 or 8 of the hours.
Yes.
I'm a good sleeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a very good sleeper on flights. And then I woke up, I was like, oh no, there's a whole another half to this thing. And that's when I started, like, Joel was with me, and we were watching movies and just, like,
Yeah.
being dumb. And,
Yeah.
like, Tony came from the back at one point. We were like little kids, like, yay, Tony's back here.
Our friend.
Our friend. Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
just, like, lined up, like, just riding. And
You guys play pool a lot, too, on the road.
I play a lot of pool with Tony, yeah.
You love
Yeah.
it.
I love it.
Why do you love
I
pool so
really
much?
do. Why?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the. I love it as a way to unwind after shows because it's one of those things where
You don't drink.
I don't drink. So what's nice about that is Tony's really cool about that, where he's very accommodating to that. Where other people could be like, no, we're going to do this, like, and you're with me. But he's super cool about that, where he's like, hey,
Let's find something we can all
every
do.
pool hall has drinks. Some
Cool.
bars don't have pool tables. So he'll try to find a bar or a pool hall for us to go to, because that way him and Red Band can grab drinks and Joel, and then that way we're playing pool and
Great.
we're all doing the same thing. We're all
Awesome.
able to hang out.
That's considerate.
Yeah, and that's got to be so great to do that with your friends, to have travel buddies, because like that's the thing about touring. Really the only downside is that sometimes you get lonely. So the fact that you're over there in Europe, but then you got your buddies with you.
Yeah.
That's got to be the best part.
I mean, that's where I feel like super, super grateful to be traveling with friends and stuff. Because as stand-up comedians, we've all had to do gigs where we have to go somewhere alone over a weekend, and you end up in your hotel room. You're kind of dreading it because you don't know anybody. You don't know anybody local to that town. But with something that we're doing with Kill Tony, like all those guys are like brothers at this point. Like,
Sure.
we all like are very good at traveling with each other, and we all kind of have we all know each other's quirks to a degree, so we know how to like work with it. And stuff like that.
Are there comics right now that you really get a kick out of watching or being on the same show with? Like for Stand Up on the Spot, I know you now. I don't think you had this last time I was on, where the comic is up there with you at the end of their set, right?
Yeah, that's something that I just started doing earlier this year, and it's really kind of tied in the show for me, like how. Because the way I used to do it before, where I would just kind of host and I would just do a set at the very top, and then all the other comics would do sets, that works. But for me personally,
You want to be involved more.
I want to be involved more, and it's also like I found an opportunity to be able to riff with some of my favorite comics this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
got to
that
be
way-
selfish like that.
Yeah, and then that way it's also like it makes more sense. Like, oh, the reason why he's hosting this is he's good at working off other people, because my sets are 50-50 at the top of the show. I sometimes eat it real hard because I'm setting the plate, and sometimes they haven't bought into the concept yet, so they don't trust what's going on.
Right. They
And
have
then
to see it happen
they have to
first,
see it happen.
and then go, oh, that's what that. And if it's one of those nights where the set doesn't work, that it's great because it gives you a chance to come back on stage.
Redemption.
Redemption.
Yeah,
And also, as someone who's done the show, it's really cool then because I can riff for a little while, but then after a bit, you're like, all right, I'm done. Like, come help me. Like,
Well, what I like to do with that too is if I hear something in the back during somebody's set, if they're improvising, I can bring up something that I think might be a good tag or something that they can lead them into us expanding upon that, and then they can maybe walk away with a bit that might even be a little bit stronger than what it was just
Absolutely.
them thinking solo. So it's just
yeah.
Fuck.
It's such a fun show. It's such a great time. Like you're involved in so many things.
Who on that show? I want to know though. Do you?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like Rogan, Pete, like who are truly guys that you see? I think you even mentioned in a post or something about Rogan and how prolific he is with coming up with material. Because I think everybody you have on the show does a good job of yes-anding and taking words, and whether they do a minute riff or a 5-minute thing. I remember last time I did it, there was somebody said something about like it was either like stabbing or robbery or like burglar or something.
Yeah.
And so I went on this whole riff about if somebody like attacked me, was trying to steal my money or whatever, then my go-to would just be to pull my dick out and start like masturbating, because then they don't have to make a decision if they still want to try to take my money around what's happening or whatever, whatever. And then somebody yelled something else out, and then it kind of like went down another tangent and was able to tie it all together. And it was just so there was a point where I was like, oh, I could have bailed on this, because my first instinct was like, dude, I don't know, but you just have to challenge yourself to go, all right, like what do I have to say about that? Like burglars and like, I don't think about that a lot, but that's what's great about it. And I see Rogan, like you mentioned in your post, like just truly at the top of that game.
Well, he's one of those guys who he does multiple podcasts a week, where he's doing
Talking about
several
everything.
hours and he's talking about everything.
He's got opinions on everything.
He's
ready
got
to go.
Yeah, so he's very well versed and he knows his own voice so well as
Yeah.
a comic. And he always does a little bit longer than the other comics. I put him up at the end and I have him do a little bit longer because it's like, why not? You know,
Yeah.
Like he's,
Also, he
he's so
probably
good
wants
at it,
to,
and
yeah.
he wants to. It's a way for him to kind of mine material and stuff like that. So he's cool to watch. I love watching guys like Rory Scovel and Todd Glass,
Yeah.
who are just
They're
super
so
silly and riffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys like Pete. Anybody who is just willing to kind of play,
Yeah.
like Eric Andre gets really wacky with the show.
What? Not Eric Andre.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what?
That doesn't sound like
What'd he
him.
do
He's
on the
always
last
so
time?
straight.
He
laced.
he just has this. He changes the energy in the room as soon as he touches the stage. It's just people are excited to see him, and he knows that, and
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna take this, and he's like I saw him. He did his birthday show in downtown LA. It was like he came out, and it was like I was watching a rock concert. He's like, "How's everybody doing?" And like they were just like, "Yeah," they were losing their minds, and it
Whoa.
was pretty cool to see like that. Like he would do jokes. He's like, "And that's what I'm talking about." like,
And
you
then
know,
Nick
that
Nolte showed
kinda
up?
like-
Yeah.
That's so
No,
cool.
dude. Eric Andre sounds like he's like very much like, dude.
That's
you know.
great, dude. That's a really
Wow.
good impression.
Eric Andre is almost like Hulk Hogan.
A little bit.
It's
yeah.
the same.
It's same. It's definitely.
Let
same.
me tell you something, brother.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of like, yeah. Oh wow.
Dude, I know, yeah.
It's very. Yeah.
You sound a little bit like Busey right there too, which reminded me of when we went to the Impractical Joker show, and I paid you, right?
Yeah. You did.
Tell this story.
Oh, I gotta know this. I don't know this story.
What was the song that was playing?
Fuck, that does add to it.
Ace of Base. I saw the sign.
It was something silly,
It was
something upbeat,
Yeah, something silly and upbeat, like a
but
pop song.
but something like not too fast, so that you could kind of like slow jam dance to it,
Yeah.
and almost like TLC's Red Light Special.
yeah, and we were hanging out backstage after the show, and it came up organically where like
So the Greek Theater, the Impractical Joker
yeah.
show, and there's a lot of celebs hanging out at the after party,
Sure,
right? So
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
we look over at one point, and we're
yeah,
like,
I'm hanging with Adam, and we're like, that's Gary Busey over there.
Yeah.
And I came up somehow where I was like, I'm gonna sing to him or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm
You're
gonna
like,
serenade
no,
him to
and
the
Adam's
song.
Like, yeah, and Adam's like, no.
Mo Mandel's like,
You're not gonna do that. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That would be crazy. But I would see that. I would watch that.
and then I said,
And Adam
no.
put money on the line. He's like, I will pay you if you serenade Gary
Yeah.
Busey right now. And I was like, oh, done, dude.
how much was it?
What is it, $50 or something like
I
that?
think it was more than that.
Is that
dude.
$100?
I think it was
I think you
$100.
put $100
I
on
swear
the
to God,
line.
it was $100 because I remember when I said it, I go, "Oh, I think he's gonna do it anyway."
You're like, Jeremiah, this person's way too crazy to
Yeah.
just throw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I gave you $100 cash at the store because I was like,
Yep.
you even said like, "Don't worry about it," and I was like, "Nope, I said it, man.
Yeah.
You fucking did it."
Yeah, I was like, dude, I was probably gonna do it anyway. And you're like, no, dude, I pushed you over the edge. I said I would do it. I was like, all right, well, respect.
And it was also
Adam
worth it.
Ray is like a Lannister. He does always pay his debts.
Yeah.
Thank you. And but you walked in front of Busey. This was worth the $100 because he slowly walked around. Busey's sitting there mid conversation. Jerry's just like, first of all, we get to see him just enter Busey's space, which, by the way, Busey's space should be a reality show on TLC.
Done.
Yeah.
Where it's like his cribs.
Come on over to Busey's space.
Hey man, don't even worry about that.
I would want him.
You gotta get out of the
I got a
space.
garage. You wanna go to my
gotta get out of
garage?
the
Can we
space.
combine Tiny House Nation and just Gary Busey and just
sure.
have Gary Busey in a tiny house?
Hey,
Yes.
man, what's going on with this tiny house?
So he saunters over, real sexy, gets over in front of Busey's eye line, and then just starts going. We're like, oh, he's gonna dance in front of him, real silly. Starts like pointing to Busey and basically just being like, "This song's for you," and just singing right to him, real slow. Got real close, and we just see Busey mid talk just kind of go.
He just started.
Right, and just kind of looking over, and then started to kind of like big old Busey smile.
Yeah.
And then you got real close, and he just committed and did it for another like at least 90 seconds. And then at the end, just kind of like the song stopped, which was great because then it was almost like seeing a stripper know her shift was over.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Gathering the ones.
yeah, you kind of took a moment. We're like, and then he was.
I bid you
Yeah,
adieu,
yeah,
sir.
no. But then didn't you you went up to him and you said big fan, or did you just walk away?
I walked away because he was
Even better.
with a woman
Yeah.
that night, and I was like, and she was loving it. She thought it was hilarious,
Yes.
but at first he was like,
What's this guy doing? This guy's.
Yeah, dude. I
Hey,
have
man,
respect, but
that's
it went up a notch.
That's $100 money well spent.
Fuck yeah, dude. I probably
Yeah.
would have paid, $150 if that was advertised at like Caesar's Palace or something.
it's like on a board.
Someone
Watch
surprises
tall white
you.
male dance in front of Busey. How much is this ticket again?
Yeah,
$150. All right.
All right.
let's go there.
How long
do
is
it.
it? 90 seconds.
Yeah.
It's probably good. Is it hot? Yeah.
It's
But, like-
definitely hot.
But like that's what
That's in
what
the
you
commercial?
do.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Some kid going, is it hot? It's definitely hot.
Oh no, he's back!
Oh, God.
Don't go on the show.
Oh, you might have a new character.
Blues Clues, more like blue balls.
That's what he said when he got fired. The host of Blues Clues. He's like, I'll give you a clue. I got a dick full of clues. Oh, God. All right. We'll edit that out. You know what? We're keeping it in.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's back in.
it's back in. We took a vote. It's
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
But no, you go full into all your characters, and that's why they work because you commit so hard. I remember I stopped by the store one time, and it was before it was on Netflix, historical roasts.
Yeah.
And it was the serial killer edition, and you were
Oh, who'd
doing
you play?
You were doing
I'm Jack the Ripper.
Oh, my God.
and you
I do this character named Jack the Ripper where he says his name a lot, blowing his identity. And he's a much larger than life person that you would think would be a serial killer. He's got long curly hair, he's got a big old top hat and a cane and stuff like that. He's Jack the Ripper.
What do you wear a top hat for, Jack?
I had a gun in there.
Oh. You think that's the best spot to hide it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that settles that.
You want to know who I've killed? I'll tell you.
Sure.
A lot of people.
Wow.
I'm Jack the Ripper.
What's your favorite cereal?
Tricks.
Like he,
he was just this super, like a lot of the other people that
Overly
were
honest.
like this a lot of the other comics who also did great at what they did, like played it more kind of real, like kind of like
Sure.
all right, this is how Ted Bundy would be, this is how but then
Tony
like
killed it. Yeah.
oh my god,
Tony did Ted Bundy?
Yeah.
It was
Whoa.
so
Was
good.
it scary?
Yeah, my
Hey,
favorite
guys,
joke,
I'm one of the number one rising young murderers in the world.
my favorite joke that he said, he goes knock knock, and then he goes who's there? He goes nobody, nothing's going on behind here, nothing. Like the way he
So
said it, I
funny.
butchered it, but
Yeah, no,
like,
it's very
you
funny.
get it. He's playing a murder
Yeah,
during
yeah.
knock knock.
But like yeah, they're all kind of playing it for real, and then you're coming out as this absurd if Jack the Ripper had his own Nickelodeon kid show,
Yeah.
that's who you played
I
Jack
just
the
thought it
Ripper
would be a
as.
funny angle for a murderer to be telling you exactly who he is, first of all, and him like being a larger than life boisterous character
Yes.
because
Yeah.
a serial killers are usually they keep to themselves.
He was
because
so
they're worried about getting
quiet. He
caught.
was always
I never saw it
quiet.
coming, but then like
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to kill you in broad daylight because I'm Jack the Ripper.
Dude, I want to
Fucking funny.
committing to that character because some people that I saw do it just kind of wore the outfit, and I was like,
that'll happen for sure.
you're missing an opportunity to play. Which why are we doing this if you're not gonna do that ever?
Yeah.
If you get an opportunity, you're just gonna and also especially for something like that when it's a historical figure that is they're pretty much all past, right? The figures that are.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like take an opportunity to really to make us connect more with the jokes and see that they're hitting. If you take on that character and really get into that persona, then we can get on board more with seeing like the way Jaleel did with Muhammad Ali and who else did he play?
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
His
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela was
Unbelievable. And I heard he did
amazing.
that like last minute, and I was like, yeah, he's also an actor and just knows how to fucking jump in. But
That
like,
South African accent, which I cannot get that accent. It's so tricky.
It's a difficult one. Yeah.
have you tried?
I have, and it's not good. It's horrible because it's
I'd
like
ask you to try, but I wonder
It
what
sounds
sort of
like
letters
Brad's
we'd
Nick
get.
Nolte.
Yeah.
I'm from from South America.
No, not even. Just change it.
First of all, I said
Change the
America,
continent
not
entirely.
Africa.
No, yeah, it's like part British but African. It's
It's a tricky one.
it's a crazy accent, and he nailed it. But yeah, he just went full into it.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I never get why, kind of to echo what Adam's saying, is that people don't just go with it. Like,
Well,
if you fail too big,
I think it's out of a lot of people's comfort zone to
Yeah.
really lose yourself in certain characters.
Yeah.
For me, I enjoy it so much because I feel like it's almost a luxury more than anything to be able to go deep
Yeah.
into something.
Oh, you damn near scared me on Josh Wolf's show. Josh Wolf's
as
Facebook
Shanks.
show. We don't know there's a secret guest, and all of a sudden Jeremiah walks out as Shanks.
Yeah, he's an escaped convict. He was in an orange prison jumpsuit, do-rag. He's got a grill in. He's super cross-eyed like this, man.
I love this guy actually.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Shanks.
Oh, nice, dude. Shanks, where are you from?
Yo, Houston, dog.
Nice.
We got that drip there, dog. Yeah.
Got that what?
That drip.
What's that?
What's a drip?
Yeah, that zizzer, man.
Oh, that's what you drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what
Uh-huh.
you? That's what you drink at the clubs, or?
At home, in a club, wherever I'm at, if I'm in my cell.
Oh, so you're in and out of jail a lot.
Oh, man, on the rag.
On the rag?
On the rag. Yeah, my girl on the rag right
Oh,
now.
shit.
That problem right now?
Yeah,
No, I said on the rag.
Oh,
dog.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
She's on the rag on the reg.
Yeah, on the rag, on
Yeah.
the rag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you make friends in prison, or
Oh, you know it, man.
okay? Like
Sometimes even close ones.
okay.
Okay, yeah. I think. I
Are
know
you
what
in a-
that means with the tongue curl?
Are you in a gang right now? Are you in a gang? Have you like picked a side?
Nah, man. You know, I'm like a community player right now, dog.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are you doing?
kind of friends with everybody?
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
so you can walk over to like the black table or the Mexican table.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay, and then you could walk over to the
Yeah,
white
I had
supremacist
sex with
table.
all those dudes. Man.
Okay,
Nice,
oh,
dude, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. I don't
okay.
discriminate, man.
Yeah,
Man,
well,
if it's a butt, what? yeah.
I think you have that tattooed on your neck, don't you?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Am I pointing in the right direction? Yeah.
If it's a butt, what is a great tagline?
It
Great
worked.
way to live.
That you were committing so hard to that character. It was like legit scary.
Well,
me.
I was in the jumpsuit. I was fully in Shanks, and I was like, "What's up, little man?" And I started spooning Brad.
Yeah.
and we started slow dancing. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm gonna take you somewhere special, dog. And
Just
Brad's
that-
like, "Where does the character end and
Yeah,
Jeremiah begin?"
like-
Whoa.
Like there was one point I didn't do this, but I wanted to just stop and be like, "I've had you in my home."
yeah. What are you doing? You know my wife.
Like the little kid in Hook grabbing Robin Williams' face. Where are you, Jeremiah?
Oh, there you are, Peter.
Rufio.
Thank you, Nick. It's going to be a no for the part of Rufio. I think we're going to get an Asian guy.
I'm Dustin Hoffman.
Nick, you're not Dustin
I want my
Hoffman.
baby. I want me.
No, Nick Nolte, you're not going to get the part of Dustin Hoffman by saying I'm Dustin Hoffman. His name's Captain Hook in the movie.
Well, I mean,
You can't be Captain Hook. I'm sorry.
I just saw Dustin Hoffman leave a moment ago. I guess I'll put in my name for that. Hook.
Yeah. Okay. The line is, and this is could get rewritten.
What's the line?
The line is, if it's a butt, what?
If it's a butt, what?
Okay. Actually,
maybe-
Oh my God!
press.
Hey, it's me, Will Forte. I totally want to audition right now.
Oh my God, that's so
hey,
good.
Will, thank you so much for joining us. All
I
right.
totally want to read for the role of Captain James.
All right, so the line is, I've been killing pirates and Indians my entire life.
Oh my God! I've been killing pirates and Indians my entire life,
But I got to be honest.
but I gotta be honest.
I could really go for a Chipotle burrito.
I could really go for a Chipotle burrito right now.
Well, he's obviously a consideration.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What? The Red Hot Chili Peppers are here? Anthony Kiedis? What? Oh, is Jeremiah gonna do material from his act right now? Oh my God!
Is he, Anthony?
Are they, is Anthony Kiedis gonna do an ad for Chipotle? You just mentioned Chipotle.
Yeah.
Beep bop boom ba bop chum. Beam bam boom bum bum boom. Black beans, sour cream, chicken or steak. Barbacoa beef on your lunch break. So much lime rice, feed of vegetables and guacamole and chips are incredible. Hey Chipotle, why you so yummy? It seems like everyone agrees, no matter what sex, age, religion, social status, or birthright, that you're tasty.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh my god!
Oh my god, I can't believe they just bombarded you. Yes, totally wild.
You got that Caliendo brain, man.
Oh, that's so
That's
good,
impressive.
man. And now
Anthony
I'm
Kiedis
really,
is such a obscure but like super
Mainstream.
famous
It's
mainstream.
weird. Yeah.
Well, it's like you don't think of that being something that you would want to hear impersonated, or
Yeah.
but especially for like
He's one of people's favorite impressions I've done on Kill Tony.
That's
People
amazing.
love when I do Kiedis on there.
And then if you don't know what to say, you can just say like California, and then it's good.
I'm down in California.
and then you're good. Yeah, you're fine.
Is there an impression that you have been requested to do, or that you're like, I gotta learn a Katie Couric? You know, something that no one's expecting.
What is? I do like a lot. Like, I end up learning a lot of musical impressions that don't end up going anywhere. That like that are like current or that are like alt rock and different stuff like that. That I'm like, oh, because I try to get one. Different impressions down that I'm like, oh, this artist might take off. Do you know what I mean? Like if something comes on the
you'll have
radio or
it.
something.
Yeah.
So I try to have foresight to get ahead because I don't
you're-
know anybody personally that has a Will Forte that, you know what I mean? Like I try to do some more random ones than the main, like, you know, Walken and Arnold
Yes.
and
Right,
those arranged
right.
ones that
Yeah.
are like,
The ones that have been mastered.
they've been mastered.
Yeah.
There's no need for new, even though I just literally did a George W. Bush and a Bill Clinton recently on Kill Tony.
Yeah, but
the context is different.
was
Clinton is in the news again. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And people have been they wanted me to do a Clinton forever because I play sax. They're like, please do Bill Clinton.
Right.
yeah.
It just,
There's
it
also-
just adds one more thing
There's
to
no
it.
comedy
Yeah.
rule book, dude. There's no like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
it's been just because Dana mastered George, like that, like
Right.
means, or George,
Yeah.
you know, Senior, that nobody could ever do it. I mean, yeah, there are certain ones that people have done like to that magnitude, to where you're gonna see it and go and think of that. But also for the context of like that show, that's what
And
makes
it's a
it great.
one-time thing. Like if you
Yeah.
were doing a like. I would say one of the impressions no one's allowed to touch is John Madden because it's like, okay, that's Frank
Yeah,
Caliendo.
dude, if anyone tried,
But if you were like doing the Hall of Fame game, Kill Tony,
Yes.
one night only, and you could do a John Madden, oh,
Right.
but also
alright,
that
cool.
environment you've never seen Madden give young comics critique. So that's why
true.
you have
It's
the
different
jurisdiction.
leeway, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
You don't
yeah.
do a Madden, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that voice. I don't even know how he. I mean,
I
is
don't
that
know either.
somebody that you as like?
I didn't grow up watching Madden too much.
But I mean, Caliendo.
Oh, Caliendo? Oh yeah, I mean,
One of
dude,
the
I grew
greats.
up watching him. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love what he does. He's phenomenal.
He just posted videos of him doing his John Gruden with John Gruden.
It's unreal.
And you're like, I don't, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
where
it's
does
the
Gruden
same
start and begin
face.
and
It's
end?
it's everything.
There's been one of my career highlights. A couple of the times that I've had moments where I've gotten to do the impression with the celebrity or with a very well-known comedian. Like I did Joe Rogan for Joe
Oh, yeah.
Rogan.
That
great.
was awesome.
Which is so cool. And then I did Jeff Foxworthy for Ron White.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which
was
was
great.
like my whole angle. Like I played Jeff Foxworthy, and our buddy Chroma Chris Dillon played Bill Engvall, and then Joel Jimenez played Larry the Cable Guy, and then we had Ron White as our fourth.
Right.
Yeah,
so
dude.
it was like
Perfect.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that
what a
was-
cool thing to say you did. Like you were in the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like hypothetically, but he also played along, which was great.
He was so cool
Yeah,
about it.
he's the man, dude.
He said he sent it to Jeff later.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
If you guys, I mean, if you came on, you'd have to do
I would
Jeff,
have to do Jeff, for
Right?
Jeff.
Right.
Absolutely.
because two Jeffs like that. Just because you
Two
just
Jeffs don't make a ride. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
the album is Reagan and Watkins. Your podcast, Jeremiah Wonders.
Yeah.
is fucking
One of the
great.
You guys
most
have
fun
both been
podcasts
on, yeah.
to do. You have a voice box. You
Yeah.
can do different characters. It's nothing but riffing. It's so great. It's so much fun to do and challenge you as a comic. And it's one of the most fun podcasts to do. So yeah,
Thanks,
Jeremiah Wonders, and you just had. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to. You just had Melissa on. and I want to listen to that episode.
It's a fun one, man. We did a couple because I kind of I mean we've all known Melissa and we're
Melissa
so
Villaseñor,
thrilled
yeah.
about everything that's going on with her right now.
Yeah.
But we've known her impressions and what she can do. So I tried to I put a little prep work into that episode where I was like, okay, what impressions can kind of go with each other and stuff like that.
Yep.
We did a duet. We did a Anthony Kiedis and Christina Aguilera duet
Oh
on
my
there,
God.
and we did a Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears duet,
Oh my god.
which was super fun.
Post breakup.
So they were. It was a
Mid-fuck?
It was a Mickey Mouse Club reunion. So they were
yes.
coming back to that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So great.
Check that out. And killtony.com for all those tour dates.
TonyHinchcliffe.com for
Okay.
all the tour dates.
Yeah.
That's where. Yeah.
And then Kill Tony podcast, stand up at the spot at the Comedy Store. Basically, if you see a show that's in Los Angeles that is amazing, Jeremiah's on it, in some way, shape, or form.
Well, that's.
So there you go.
It's very nice. It's the nicest thing I've ever.
Hey, Will, is Last Man on Earth coming back for season 4?
Oh my God! Please don't bring that up. It's totally not. Very unfortunate because I was a big fan of that. I love that show. I loved.
It was one of my favorite shows
it
ever.
was so
Dude,
funny.
and, yeah, I wish that they were making more episodes of that show.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Will Forte is my wife's favorite impression for me to do.
Yeah.
It's
In
the only
bed.
time that she has
Okay.
fangirled out.
Did you meet him when he was at the Jam?
Yeah.
Great.
I've gotten to do a handful of shows with him. He's
The man.
The coolest.
Have you done Forte for Forte?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh boy.
I haven't done that yet.
Well, that
That'll
needs to happen.
It
Yeah.
will happen.
As Will Forte, what would you ask Will Forte?
How are you so cool? I mean, oh my God. Is it okay if is it okay if you have sex with my wife? Because my wife would totally love it.
Good night, everybody.
It's about last night.